And it came to pass that in that time the great god Om spake unto brother, the chosen one. Psst. Brother paused in mid-ho and stared around the temple garden. "Pardon," he said. It was a fine day early in the lesser spring. The prayer mills spun merrily in the breeze off the mountains. Bees loafed around in the bean blossoms, but buzzed fast enough to give the impression of hard work. High above, a lone eagle circled. Brother shrugged and got back to his melons. Yea, the great god Om spake again unto brother, the chosen one. Psst. Brother hesitated. Someone had definitely spoken to him from out of the air. Perhaps it was a demon. Novice Master Numrod was hot on the subject of demons, impure thoughts, and demons. One led to the other. Brother was uncomfortably aware that he was probably overdue a demon. The thing to do was to be resolute and repeat the 9 fundamental aphorisms. Once more, the great god Om spake unto brother, the chosen one. "Are you deaf, boy?" The hoe thudded onto the baking soil. Brother spun around. There were the bees, the eagle, and at the far end of the garden, old brother Lucy, dreamily forking over the dung heap. The prayer mills whirled reassuringly along the walls. He made the sign when the prophet Ishkabal had cast out spirits. "Get behind me, demon," he muttered. "I am behind you." Brother turned again slowly. The garden was still empty. He fled. Many stories start long before they begin. Brother's story had its origins thousands of years before his birth. There are billions of gods in the world. They swarm as thick as herring roe. Most of them are too small to see and never get worshipped, at least by anything bigger than bacteria, who never say their prayers and don't demand too much in the way of miracles. They are the small gods, the spirits of the places where 2 ant trails cross, the gods of the microclimates down between the grassroots, and most of them stay that way because what they lack is belief. A handful, though, go on to greater things. Anything may trigger it. A shepherd seeking a lost lamb finds it among the briars and takes a minute or 2 to build a small cairn of stones, and in general thanks to whatever spirits might be around the place. Or a peculiarly shaped tree becomes associated with a cure for disease, or someone carves a spiral on an isolated stone, because what gods need is belief, and what humans want is gods. Often it stops there, but sometimes it goes further. More rocks are added, more stones are raised. A temple is built on the site where a tree once stood. The the god grows in strength. The belief of its worshippers raising it upwards like 1,000 tons of rocket fuel. For a very few, the sky is the limit, and sometimes not even that. Brother Numrod was wrestling with impure thoughts in the privacy of his severe cell when he heard the fervent voice from the Novitiate dormitory. The brother boy was flat on his face in front of a statue of Om. In his manifestation is a thunderbolt, shaking and gabbling fragments of prayer. There was something creepy about that boy, Numrod thought. It was the way he looked at you when you were talking, as if he was listening. He wandered out and prodded the prone youth with the end of his cane. Get up, boy. What do you think you're doing in this dormitory in the middle of the day, Brother managed to spin around while still flat on the floor and grasped the priest's ankles. A voice, it spoke to me, he wailed. Numrod breathed out. This was familiar ground. Voices were right up Numrod's cloister. He heard them all the time. Get up, boy, he said, slightly more kindly. Brother got to his feet. He was, as Numrod had complained before, too old to be a proper novice, about 10 years too old. Give me a boy up to the age of 7, Numrod had always said. But Brother was going to die a novice. When they made the rules, they'd never allowed for anything like Brother. He had a big, red, honest face, staring up at the novice master. Sit down on your bed, Brother, said Numrod. Brother obeyed immediately. Brother did not know the meaning of the word disobedience. It was only one of a large number of words he didn't know the meaning of. Numrod sat down beside him. Now, Brother, he said, you know what happens to people who tell falsehoods, don't you? Brother nodded, blushing. Very well. Now, tell me about these voices. Brother twisted the hem of his robe in his hands. It was more like one voice, Master, he said. Like one voice, said Brother Numrod. And what did this voice say? Page 1. Page 2. It's not loaded page 2. Bugger.